Hey everybody, Justin here, back again to review another Dragon Ball Z game for the Sega Saturn, Dragon Ball Z Shinbutoden, which continues the Super Butoden series, which was for the Super Famicom, along with Buyu Retsuden for the Sega Mega Drive. And when I reviewed Dragon Ball Z Legends, I talked about how that game wasn't your traditional fighting game, but this one kind of is, but really isn't. And it's very distinct in its own ways, just like how Dragon Ball Z is. I remember first getting this game sometime after my brothers and I got Dragon Ball Z Legends, and we always wanted to play something along the lines of, let's say, Buyu Retsuden again, or something like it. And based on the screenshots we saw before, this game seemed to be it, so strap on and let's take a trip back down memory lane as I review Dragon Ball Z Shinbutoden. This game does have a badass anime intro, but considering how Corporate Tube blocked my review of Magic Knight Rayearth due to the game and my review having footage of the anime, it was blocked from being uploaded, so I will avoid showing this intro for the very same reasons and concentrate on the gameplay footage I have captured. Along with Legends, Shinbutoden is the only other DBZ game available for the Saturn. If you've ever played the Super Butoden games or Buyu Retsuden, then this is the 32-bit version to those very games. And for a 32-bit system, the graphics are excellent, and they do capture the feel of the anime in its own way in its own time. Granted, it doesn't take full advantage of the console's superior 2D sprite capabilities, but you do feel like you're controlling the anime itself. The designs are good, the animations are okay, and the backgrounds are rather nice. While the controls are very straightforward and on par with your typical fighting game, its presentation is far from traditional and does its best to be a good game that represents Dragon Ball and not the fighting game genre in conjunction to, let's say, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or King of Fighters. Shinbutoden isn't something where you can just jump around and throw combos very fluidly. The game can be very stiff, but it does have its own other sense of freedom, such as being allowed to fly, no time limits, no rounds, and you can charge your ki like in the source material, so you can throw your special attacks and not spam them, like you would, let's say, you can spam Hadokens in Street Fighter. When you have a character in the sky and one on the ground, the screen will split, and at a considerable distance, you can throw your supers for more damage, but the opponent will have opportunities to either count, block, or run away. This is very hard to do on the defensive end, but it's nice to see that the series is being represented in the game in this very form. This was also a feature I saw when I played Buyu Retsuden a few years before with my cousins in the Philippines, and that particular feature is what stood out to me, in comparison to, let's say, the mainstream fighting game releases of those times. Shinbutoden can be challenging, but give it enough time, it'll come second nature to you. In comparison to Dragon Ball Z Legends and other fighting games, Shinbutoden may require more Japanese comprehension than usual, especially the menus where you have a generic versus mode, a Tenkaichi Budokai mode, and the Mr. Satan mode. Within the versus mode, you can do a story mode, a one-time one-on-one fight, or you could do 2 players, or have 2 computer characters duke it out. When doing the story mode, the characters will have a face-off and have a conversation to hype themselves up.
容赦しないぞトランクス。はい、こっちも全力でいきます。
When doing the non-story mode fights, you can choose your music and your stages. I remember the first time I heard Hikari no Willpower, one of Trunks' theme songs, was actually through this game. A lot of the music isn't from the anime, but from what I understand, was still composed by Kenji Yamamoto, who composed a lot of tracks for many of the Dragon Ball Z games. The Tenkaichi Budokai mode is simply a tournament mode, but the Mr. Satan mode is a callback to when Mr. Satan had Android 18 throw the fight for some money, and it's about how Android 18 comes to collect, but Mr. Satan says he can't pay, but he's willing to pay 10 times more within a week.
前回の天下一武道会でミスター・サタンは2000万ゼニーと引き換えに18号に圧勝した。だがさすがのミスター・サタンにも2000万ゼニーという大金はそうたやすく用意できるものではなかった。
金は明日お前の家に取りに行く。ちゃんと払わないとぶっ殺すからな。
困り果てたミスター・サタンの前に一人の男が現れた。彼の名はジャガーバッダ男爵。ミスター・サタンのいとこで、ミスター・サタンとは昔から仲が悪く、子供の頃に武術で負けたのを今でも根に持っている。
貴様が一体何の用だ。
いや、久しぶりだな。聞くところによると随分金に困ってるそうじゃないかい。
なぜそれを。
さあ、2000万ゼニーを渡してもらおうか。
いや、まだ。
ふざけんじゃないよ。2000万ゼニー今日払う約束だろ。
そんな急にはいくらなんでも。1週間、そう1週間待っていただけたら2000万ゼニーでも1億ゼニーでもちゃんと払いますから。
1週間待てば1億ゼニーでもちゃんと払うんだよ。よし、じゃあ1週間だけ待ってやる。もし1週間経って1億ゼニーが支払えなかったら今度こそぶっ殺すからな。
どうしよう。
And in order to make that money, okay, so he has to rig tournaments run by his cousin, Jaguar Debatar, in order to make the money. And when a fight is going on, Mr. Satan will be ringside, and he can throw support items to help the fighter he bet to keep their life up, or he can use weapons such as a gun in order to do damage on the opponent. Also, he's a selectable character in the game. And as I said before, if you're looking for a traditional fighter, Shinbutoden and many Dragon Ball Z games up to the 32-bit era are not what I would put in an EVO tournament if I were a promoter. They do have something of a steep and yet rewarding learning curve. It offers something that many traditional fighting games don't. After all, Dragon Ball Z isn't exactly your typical martial arts piece of media either, and that should also apply to its video games. And if you have patience, and if you're a true lover of Dragon Ball Z, this will certainly be your cup of tea to some degree. But if you're not into Dragon Ball or fighting games, then stay clear of this like the plague.